Hi, you're watching Laughing at Ourselves with Cynthia Luna
Rhonda Shaffer.
and today we're going to talk about scarcity. And I thought that a good way of handling this would be to just do this in an interview style, Rhonda, and to ask you if you could think of, if you even think you have a scarcity mindset.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. My mindset is definitely, I catch myself thinking scarcity all the time. And it's usually based around fear that I'm not going to get something that I want,
Mhm.
or that somebody's not going to give me what I want and what I
Mhm.
need. So, um, and another fear that I've had is, that I'm not talented.
Yeah.
And that scarcity just has to do with my thinking, limited thinking
Yeah.
on that. And with that scarcity mindset, that fear does come in like, okay, things aren't happening right here. I need to get paid. I have bills to pay,
Mhm.
and I want to start saving and investing and so whatever those thoughts are.
Yeah.
So, but then anxiety kicks in, and then that's like, am I ever going to get this thing done?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just not good enough to do what they want.
Yeah.
And that's old conditioning. I've learned that that was my interpretation of things I heard when I was somewhere between, I think, 2 and 7 years old is the time frame, something like that.
So, do you have an early memory that you like could pinpoint from between 2 and 7?
Um, well, a lot of families were much bigger back then because a lot of times I had something important to say, but I wasn't acknowledged.
Right. Yeah.
And one of my friends and I always laugh because I would go to say something and I would always get cut off. I was never allowed to finish my thought. And I catch myself today as I'm going to say something, I will stop mid thought. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, where'd that go?
Right.
Yeah, and so the beauty of the business we're in is that I'm learning to carry that thought through, and
Mhm.
the computers and internets have allowed me to overcome some of those obstacles.
I guess I just wanted to say that, like, one of the wonders of the business that we're in is that we're learning that our mindset is can hold us back, and it's something that we've carried with us for all these years, but it's
Yeah,
like bogus data, and we
yeah.
can let it go.
Yes, and I don't know. I have no clue if that was intentional or not, being cut off. Um, but it just. I remember the feeling of being less than, not being important, and that cuts creativity.
Hmm.
Just because the information's not flowing, it just wants to stop. Because why bother? And I don't think that's a conscious thought.
I mean, from what I've observed in interacting with you on Facebook, it looks like you're making some very concerted efforts to reclaim your voice. So, could you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about how you're kind of turning a new leaf?
At some point, I said, I've had it. That's enough of that. You know, I have to make some adjustments here. So one of the adjustments was I needed to be around people, the type of people that I wanted to be, that I was striving to be, because I needed an example.
Yeah,
And so that's been a great process over the years. So
modeling.
it took me a while to catch on to it, but in our business, the emphasis on mindset is so strong that it's been very, very helpful to me. Um,
Hmm.
and like when you see me with Sheila, sometimes my mind will just go blank, and we just laugh because I know what's happening.
Hmm.
Um, and a way around that was, first off, to learn to be, instead of focusing on the negative things, the things that cut off the creativity and the positiveness is focusing on gratitude instead,
Mm-hmm.
focusing what I'm thankful for.
Ignore that, but go on.
Okay. Should a light bulb pop up over my head after that, or did I have a good idea?
Yes, you were talking about focusing on the positive things. So maybe that's why, like, maybe that was the timing of all my texts saying, like, yeah,
Yeah. Oh
dang,
God.
another good idea. No, because those are really important, to really always kind of pivot, especially if you feel like you're going back to your old habits to
Yes.
pivot. Yeah.
And I can spot them now. And sometimes I feel a tightness in my chest.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I have a physical response to what's going on. Hey, what's going on here? And then I see I had a negative thought, and I'm in the process of learning not to let those negative thoughts come out of my vocally. And my friends catch me. Hey, Rhonda, what I just say? And so having a support network around is very, very helpful in
Mm-hmm.
keeping that mindset positive. Obviously, reading and tapes, reading books that address mindset and how we can overcome it, and telling that negative voice to stop,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. I'm not good enough. I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can do this, and you are good enough.
Okay, and in the meantime,
Uh,
I'll mention, since we're both involved with Heal, that Heal is
yes,
about to unveil a huge new VIP platform.
yes.
So anybody who's watching this or listening to this might be interested in getting on board with Heal right about now, starting with the I Am program, which is amazing as far as a mindset program, as well as, like linking up with an abundance mindset and leaving your scarcity mindset like in your rearview mirror.
Well, speaking of that I Am program,
Uh-huh.
which I have with
Uh-huh.
both VIP members, that that I Am summarized everything that I have learned over, I'll say, the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And it was just, for me, validation after validation. I know someone else who I think their child is 13 years old. The whole family went through this.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, from what they told me, it was extremely powerful for this
Uh-huh.
13-year-old, enough to bring him to tears,
Uh-huh.
because he was starting to understand things that he didn't understand before. And I would love to hear from his words what he learned
Right.
someday. Someday I will. I thought of it the other day. But that I Am is uh, and a positive eye opener,
Yes.
and it does explain why we do the things that we do, where it came from, and how we need to focus on our own empowerment and not what other people say,
Mm-hmm.
because that's only an opinion. That doesn't mean it's true.
It allows you to step into your freedom and,
Yeah,
really be yourself completely.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then we make better choices
Yes.
when
Yes.
we're in that positive sense, and we're more open to making sure our ideas are heard.
Yes. I'm so glad that you invited me to go on this journey with you and to do this little interview series. I don't know how often that we'll be able to connect, but I really appreciate that you shared your scarcity story and how you're moving into an abundance story and stepping
Definitely,
into an abundance lifestyle.
definitely. We could go on for hours, of
Yes,
course.
we
So
could. So
remember, with abundance, the outcomes are positive.
exactly, absolutely.
Maybe
So
not
well,
right now.
this
Yeah, go
was
ahead.
one episode of laughing at ourselves. We didn't do a lot of laughing today, Rhonda, but we will
That's
be.
okay.
So I'm Cynthia Luna, and this was
Rhonda Shaffer. we get a little crazy sometimes, but it's nice to just flow through and say, okay, we'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get
get
there.
there.
We
And
figured it out today, I think.
yes, thanks to you, huh? And let anybody that's watching feel free to comment, like, or share. We would. I know Cynthia would love to hear your feedback. I would too. And if you have any more insights on scarcity versus abundance, we would love to hear it, wouldn't we?
Comment.
Comment,
We
like, or
do love to
share.
hear it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.